The story of Nigeria's journey to freedom is a complex one. It is a story of many people, many tribes, many tongues. Before the white man came, the land we now call Nigeria was a tapestry of kingdoms and communities. But the British came, seeking wealth and power. They saw opportunity in our land, in our resources, in our people. They called it colonization, but it felt like conquest. The British arrived on the coast, their ships heavy with goods and guns. They established trading posts, their influence slowly spreading inland like smoke from a fire. Treaties were signed, some willingly, others under duress. The traditional rulers, some resisted, fighting to protect their people and their way of life. But the British had a different vision for Nigeria, one where they ruled. By the turn of the 20th century, the British had solidified their control over much of the territory. They established the colony and protectorate of Lagos in the south and the protectorates of northern and southern Nigeria further inland. This division was strategic, meant to simplify administration and maximize their control over the diverse ethnic groups and regions. But this division would have far-reaching consequences, sowing seeds of division. The north, with its vast plains and powerful emirates, was ruled indirectly. The British relied on existing traditional structures, empowering local rulers to govern according to British interests. The South, with its coastal cities and exposure to Western education and ideas, experienced a more direct form of British rule. This disparity in governance, coupled with the existing cultural and religious differences, created a chasm between the North and the South. In 1914, a decision was made that would forever alter the destiny of Nigeria. The British, in the name of administrative efficiency, decided to merge the northern and southern protectorates with the colony of Lagos. This amalgamation, while seemingly practical on paper, would have profound and lasting implications for the future of Nigeria. Lord Frederick Lugard, the British Governor-General, orchestrated this union. He argued that a unified Nigeria would be economically stronger, with the South's resources complementing the North's agricultural output. On January 1, 1914, the amalgamation became official, and Nigeria as a single entity was born. This unification, however, was not without its critics. Many, particularly in the South, saw it as a blatant attempt by the British to further their economic interests at the expense of true unity. They argued that the North and South were too different, their cultures, religions, and aspirations too divergent to be forcibly merged. Despite these concerns, the amalgamation went ahead, forever altering the political and social landscape of Nigeria. It laid the groundwork for a future independent nation, but also sowed the seeds of regionalism and ethnic tensions that would continue to plague the country for decades to come. The arbitrary borders drawn by the British, cutting across ethnic and cultural lines, created a sense of division and competition that would have lasting repercussions. The amalgamation of 1914 created a single political entity, but it did little to bridge the divides that separated the North and the South. The British, whether by design or oversight, had created a system where unity existed primarily on paper. The South, with its growing educated elite and exposure to Western ideas, began to advocate for greater autonomy and self-governance. They chafed under the indirect rule system, seeing it as a tool to suppress their progress and maintain British dominance. The North, on the other hand, remained wary of the South's ambitions. The traditional rulers, empowered by the British system of indirect rule, were reluctant to relinquish their authority. They feared domination by the more westernized South and sought to preserve their cultural and religious identity. This inherent tension between North and South played out in various spheres of life. Economic policies often favored the South, further fueling resentment in the North. Educational opportunities remained unequal, with the South having a significant advantage. The seeds of discord sown during the era of colonization continued to grow, threatening the fragile unity of the newly formed nation. As Nigeria moved through the first half of the 20th century, the struggle for independence began to take shape. The Second World War, with its message of self-determination and the weakening of European powers, further fueled the desire for freedom. Nigerian soldiers who had fought bravely for the British Empire returned home with a newfound sense of nationalism and a burning desire for self-rule. The winds of change were sweeping across Africa, and Nigeria was not immune to its effects. The Second World War had a profound impact on the consciousness of many Nigerians. The war effort had exposed the fallacy of European invincibility and had ignited a sense of Pan-Africanism and anti-colonial sentiment. Nigerian soldiers who had witnessed firsthand the horrors of war and the sacrifices demanded of them returned home with a new sense of purpose. They had fought for freedom abroad, and now they were ready to fight for their own. This newfound awareness, coupled with the growing frustration with British rule, fueled the rise of nationalist movements across the country. Nationalist groups, with their message of self-determination and freedom, began to resonate with the masses. Newspapers sprung up, their pages filled with calls for independence and critiques of colonial policies. People from all walks of life, from educated elites to market women, joined the chorus demanding an end to British rule. The struggle for independence, however, was not a monolithic movement. Different regions and ethnic groups had their own visions for the future of Nigeria. This lack of a unified front would continue to shape the political landscape even after independence, highlighting the challenges of forging a cohesive national identity in a country as diverse as Nigeria. Section 5. The struggle for self-rule. Voices of dissent grow louder. The 1940s and 1950s witnessed a surge in nationalist activities in Nigeria. Political parties emerged, each with its own vision for the future of the country. The National Council of Nigeria and the Cameroons, led by Nnamdi Azikiwe, advocated for a united and independent Nigeria. The Action Group, under the leadership of Obafemi Awolowo, focused on regional autonomy and development, particularly for the Western region. In the north, the Northern People's Congress, led by Bello, emerged as a dominant force, advocating for the interests of the northern region. These parties, while united in their desire for independence, differed significantly in their ideologies and approaches. The NCNC, with its broad-based nationalist appeal, sought to transcend ethnic and regional divisions. The AG championed a federal system that granted significant autonomy to the regions, reflecting the anxieties of the Yoruba people in the western region. The NPC, wary of southern domination, advocated for a strong central government with the north retaining significant influence. The struggle for independence was not without its challenges. The British, while gradually relinquishing control, were determined to ensure a smooth transition to independence. They organized constitutional conferences, gradually expanding the franchise and granting more autonomy to Nigerians. However, they also played a role in exacerbating regional and ethnic tensions, often favoring one group over another in an attempt to maintain control. Section 6, Independence in Sight, the march towards freedom gathers pace. As the 1950s progressed, the march towards independence became unstoppable. The nationalist movements, fueled by popular support and growing international pressure, had forced the British to the negotiating table. Constitutional conferences were held, each one granting more autonomy to Nigerians in preparation for self-rule. In 1957, the eastern and western regions gained internal self-governance, followed by the northern region in 1959. This marked a significant step towards full independence, with Nigerians now controlling most aspects of their regional affairs. The stage was set for a final push towards complete freedom. The date was set, October 1st, 1960. Anticipation and excitement filled the air as the day approached. Across the country, people prepared to celebrate this momentous occasion. The struggle had been long and arduous, but the dream of independence was finally within reach. The journey had not been easy. The path to independence was paved with disagreements, compromises, and the ever-present threat of division. The legacy of colonialism, with its emphasis on difference and its arbitrary borders, continued to cast a long shadow. But despite these challenges, the spirit of unity and the desire for self-determination had prevailed. Section 7. Giants of the movement, Azikiwe, Bello, Awolowo and others. The struggle for Nigerian independence was spearheaded by a generation of remarkable leaders, each leaving an indelible mark on the nation's history. These individuals, driven by a shared desire for freedom, navigated the complexities of colonial rule and laid the groundwork for a new era. Nnamdi Azikiwe, fondly known as Zeke, was a towering figure in the nationalist movement. A charismatic orator and skilled politician, he commanded respect across ethnic and regional divides. As the leader of the NCNC, he advocated for a united and independent Nigeria, emphasizing the need to transcend tribalism and embrace a common national identity. Obafemi Awolowo, a brilliant strategist and advocate for education, played a pivotal role in shaping the political landscape of Western Nigeria. As the leader of the AG, he championed regional autonomy and focused on developing the economic and educational potential of the Western region. His legacy as a visionary leader and advocate for social justice continues to inspire generations of Nigerians. Bello, the Sardauna of Sokoto, was a powerful figure in the north. As the leader of the NPC, he advocated for the interests of the northern region, often taking a cautious approach towards independence. He recognized the North's educational and economic disadvantages and sought to protect its interests in a future independent Nigeria. These leaders, along with countless others who fought tirelessly for freedom, left an indelible mark on Nigeria. Their legacy is a reminder of the complexities of nation building and the importance of embracing diversity while striving for unity. Section 8. Freedom's Dawn, Nigeria celebrates independence. October 1st, 1960, dawned bright and clear, a day etched in the annals of Nigerian history. The air crackled with anticipation as people from all walks of life poured onto the streets, their faces alight with joy and expectation. The green and white flag of a newly independent Nigeria was hoisted, replacing the Union Jack, a symbol of colonial rule. In Lagos, the capital city, the atmosphere was electric. Crowds gathered at Tafawa Balewa Square, their voices united in singing the newly adopted national anthem, Nigeria, We Hail Thee. Princess Alexandra of Kent, representing the British Crown, formally handed over the instruments of independence to Abubakar Tafawa Balewa, Nigeria's first Prime Minister. The celebrations extended far beyond the capital. From the bustling streets of Lagos to the remote villages in the north, Nigerians erupted in jubilation. The dream of self-rule, nurtured for generations, had finally been realized. It was a moment of immense pride and hope, a testament to the resilience and determination of the Nigerian people. The journey, however, was far from over. Independence was not an end in itself, but rather the beginning of a new chapter. The challenges of nation building, of forging a united nation from a tapestry of diverse cultures and interests, lay ahead. But on that day, as the green and white flag fluttered in the wind, Nigeria stood tall, ready to embrace its destiny as an independent nation. Section 9. Legacy of Liberty, the enduring impact of 1960. The significance of Nigeria's independence cannot be overstated. It marked the end of colonial rule and the beginning of a new era of self-determination. The events of October 1st, 1960 reverberated far beyond the borders of Nigeria, inspiring other African nations struggling for freedom. The legacy of 1960 is complex and multifaceted. The challenges that Nigeria has faced in the decades since independence, from military coups to civil war to economic instability, cannot be ignored. However, it is essential to recognize the resilience of the Nigerian people, their unwavering belief in their nation, and their capacity for renewal. Today, Nigeria stands as a beacon of democracy in Africa, a testament to the enduring power of the human spirit to overcome adversity. The journey since independence has not been without its bumps, but the Nigerian people have consistently demonstrated their commitment to building a better future for themselves and future generations. The story of Nigeria's path to independence is a reminder that freedom is not a destination, but a journey. It is a journey that demands constant vigilance, a commitment to dialogue, and an unwavering belief in the power of unity. As Nigeria continues to navigate the complexities of nation building, the lessons learned from its past serve as a guide for a brighter future, one where the dreams of its founding fathers are finally realized.